Now, take out your cell phones, hold them up, good. Now turn them off completely. We cannot have phones on at all. No vibrate, completely off. As well, please keep your shuffling and moving around to a minimum. Applause, raucous laughter, heartfelt joy is perfectly fine, but shuffling is not. So if you feel so motivated to laugh and clap and enjoy yourself, please feel free, but otherwise keep still. So now are you ready for the show? I can't hear you. Are you ready for the show? Yeah. Give yourselves another big round of applause. Make a lot of noise. This is when you can. And enjoy Wajahat Ali's The Domestic Crusaders.
Something's missing that you know we have.
Oh, I didn't know you had it. I thought maybe it didn't interact with
No,
it.
well, bug me.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Going out on town with Black.
All right, can we get over this already? Who cares? It's not a big deal. And the blacks are people too. Remember? They're Muslim. No color barrier in the religion.
An old fakiri Buddha. Why don't you go get some rest? Hurry, go freshen up at least.
Oh, khana nikalo. I'll be fresh if I eat. I'm starving. Hold on. I'm not an anti-Semite. This country conveniently calls anyone anti-Semites anytime you criticize Israel for anything. I'm just saying it's not wise to marry a girl like that.
If only she was pretty. The white Hurain sent from heaven, beguiling with her light-skinned beauty, with her blonde hair and blue eyes. So beautiful compared to us dark-haired, dark-skinned women.
You know, you're all entering this space differently. So it doesn't establish itself as a human.
Right.
And you have to set up the reality.
No, just standard procedure is all. Standard procedure is all. Yeah?
And what about, how it helps a man in his physical activity?
And it doesn't hurt in that department as well. Allah has made everything with a definite purpose and limitation.
What if I create a new profession? The International Muslim Bollywood Educator Superstar, IMBES.
How will you let your wife teach your kids that Palestinians are rock-throwing terrorists and each Arab kid is a potential ticking human time bomb, and that the Israelis are poor, defenseless innocents who just happen to have one of the world's strongest?
That's a good question. I think first and foremost, to be perfectly frank, I was just trying to pass a class. Because Ishmael Reed was my English professor in 2001. And I was a senior at UC Berkeley. And on a whim, I applied to his class a few months before when I was a junior for my fall class. And the reason why I applied to his class, you can only apply to one short story writing class. There were 3 professors teaching it. I went to my senior advisor and I said, look, there's these 3 professors. I need some units, might be fun, I might get in. Which one should I apply to? And he described all the professors. He said, this guy Ishmael Reed, he lets you do your own thing. So I was sold.
So how do you feel when I came? I mean, all I did was say, go write a play. Then I came to you and dumped this on you. As usual, I dumped it on you. You got to work with this kid and put this play in shape. How did you feel when I came to you with that request?
Well, it sort of slid up on you. At first, I thought all I was doing was helping him, format a play, but then took on what's called dramaturgy now. It's a fashionable term in theater, in which I was helping Wajahat basically edit the play. And a lot of that we developed through the process of auditions, because in auditions, you hear things over and over and over again. We both could hear where things were missing, where things were being said too many times. Were we really creating the scenes that we wanted to create?
But little did I know, he was MacArthur Genius Pulitzer nominated Ishmael Reed. I like the name Ishmael, I like the fact that he lets you do your own thing. So I applied on his class on a whim. And I think I had actually a small play, which I didn't even realize was a play at the time, that I had submitted to him. Because it was a short story writing class,
Right.
and he said you need to give 10 to 15 pages of short story writing sample. All I had was a 13-page writing sample of a mini play I had written for our sketch comedy troupe, which was the longest sketch that anyone in our troupe had ever performed. So he accepted the play, and I, honestly, when he said to me in September 2001, he took me outside of the class and said, "Stop wasting your time in the short story class, finish me a play, you're a player, you don't know it." At first I thought he was crazy, and I'm like, "Please let me just go back to short stories." But he said, no, finish this play. Finish this play about a family that happens to be American, Muslim, and Pakistani. So at first I just wanted to finish the play. I gave him 20 pages, I passed the class, and as you know, he kept asking me for a few more pages because he liked it.
We did 6 weeks of rehearsal, and I would meet with the actors outside, working individually with each person to develop their character and their understanding of their relationships with each other. And being an outsider, for instance, to Pakistani, American, and Muslim culture, it was a very useful thing because I was asking questions, they were helping me understand who they were, and I was helping them understand how does the audience become the fly on the wall inside the home of a Pakistani-American family, basically.
For the last time, I don't care what men like. Muslim men are all boorish, sexually frustrated, horny juveniles. Plus, we all know what they don't like. A good Muslim girl who can cook. All these five guys want is a good Muslim girl with light skin tone, an MD degree, long hair, stunning, Jennifer Lopez, good looks with her other assets, and who must cook like their mothers. Life doesn't revolve around marriage. Tell that to your gossip auntie squad.
Tell them that on top of what they and Allah knows who else has already heard about you. My only Betty, 24 years old, still single. No proposals from anyone. Instead of attending her law school classes, goes to these rallies. Once such a nice girl, now wearing hijab, giving controversial speeches, getting arrested at the university protest, going out on the town with blacks.
All right.
9/11 was a pivotal moment, I think, not just for America, but for the globe. It's the turning point. So for American Muslims in particular, I would say Muslims globally, there's a pre-9/11 and a post-9/11, forever forked in the timeline.
I'm the accidental writer, I'm the accidental activist. No one would have anticipated what 9/11 brought. But it was thrust into a brave new world, really. And it was scary.
I had noticed when I was chair of the Berkeley Arts Commission that Berkeley Rep was required to serve the community by having the community have access to the stage. So I approached them about doing the Domestic Crusaders. I put up the money to have it perform there. I got my money back. And that revealed a very important lesson for me about the politics of American theater. They're always saying that, well, we'll do your play if, a lot of people show up, or the reason that we can't do that is because there's no audience for it, blah, blah, blah. This play sold out.
And I remember we first met about 4.5 years ago. Ishmael introduced us in New York.
Yeah.
And Ishmael was trying to convince you to produce the play, but originally you were very skeptical. Tell us about that.
This particular play, I was like, Ish, give me another new play by you, why this one, And he was really very much enthused with your work and who you are as a person and wanted to present this play because he kept the communication lines open. And then when he got the opportunity to bring us together, I was still skeptical and was thinking in terms of maybe this won't work, with the audience that we have here. One of the wonderful things that did happen for the play is that you guys broke attendance records for us,
Lou, when will you grow up? Go find a nice girl, give me some grandchildren quickly, and move back to the house so I can play with them.
Me, I find nice girls all the time.
Find one nice girl? Oh, badmash.
And what? Won't cook me khana. Look at Fatima. None of these girls know how to cook. And no one cooks biryani and tandoori chicken like my Ummi John. Plus, American girls can't get along with the mother-in-law, clash of civilization. Can't move back to the house due to conflict of interest.
Well, you should. He misses you, we all do.
Right.
You never liked my khana. Never have. Always munching on McDonald's burger and fries. Such terrible food. I pray your wife makes you start liking desi food.
What wife?
I pray your wife future wife, Amin.
It was difficult picking the right people for these parts, and we had went through our trials and tribulations, but we picked a dynamic cast of folks, and it's like a family now.
I've decided I want to be a teacher.
Kya?
What?
Beta,
What?
did you say you want to become a teacher?
I think that's what he said.
Well, good. I also one day want to teach after I retire from the company. It's noble work teaching people. You get rewards in this world and the next. You have good ideas. You'll be a good teacher when you're an old man, after you've done medicine.
I'm not doing medicine.
Oh, this will be awesome.
You're what now?
I said I'm not doing medicine.
No,
Instead,
I
wanna
heard you,
be-
but I heard you incorrectly. You're what now?
Just listen to him. He's just
No,
trying
I am listening to him, but I'm not hearing him properly because probably I'm becoming old and my ears are filled with too much hair. I just thought I was paying all that money, working like a dog for the past 3 years for chemistry
You
books
have
and biology.
plenty of money.
What would you know about it? Just some loafer?
How could you decide this? When? Why didn't you let us know about your decision? Why are you ruining your future? All our plans we had for you.
Oh, your plans for my future.
Your future is our future. It was decided long ago. We made a decision. That's why I pay that goddamn money for that goddamn private school.
And I'm grateful for it. I never said otherwise, but you made my decision for my future. My future, my decision without ever asking me. Look, no disrespect to you or Ummi, but I think it's
Huh? No disrespect to us. Good. Of course not, Ghafoor. What are we? Just two old people who gave birth to you, cleaned you, cry and pray for you every night. Who are we? Nothing.
Just some worthless old pieces of shit that he can do away with now that he's an adult. Thinks he's an adult. Because up and away he goes to college. Starts thinking for himself in his future. Telling me what he's going to do. Well, as long as I pay the bills, you are becoming a damn doctor. And a good one at that. No, not a good one. The best. The absolute best. So they can never cut you down or humiliate you or take away your hard-earned rewards. No son of mine, sons of mine, is going to become some third-rate penniless professor teaching little kids grammar and sentence vocabulary structure and whatnot.
I don't plan on teaching children.
What will the community say? Our nose is cut. I brag about you. Gaining admission to the top universities, scholarships, Shabnam's beta, Rifat's daughter, Sama's 2 kids, all becoming doctors. All of them envious and jealous of you. And now what? They'll be rich in 5 years. You'll be getting apples from 2-year-olds.
You give your heart, great things come from it, and that's what they did. And it deserves so much more. And to be nominated for the Adalco Award, Black Theater, not Pakistani theater, Black theater's most prestigious award, you know, and the woman from Adalco, she sat up here, came twice to see it. You know, so that meant a lot. The woman meaning Grace L. Jones of Adalco. Well, it's a classic, and classics don't end. They tend to come back again and again and again. So that there's no ending to Domestic Crusaders.
What happened in 2003 was there was very little value in our ethnic communities placed in art and culture. Specifically, it was the American dream narrative that you come here as an immigrant, you work your way up, you can't afford to take risks, you lay your head low, you play it conservative, you get the education, and you become the holy trinity of either doctor, engineer, or a dubious businessman who somehow makes a lot of money. You get the suburban home, you marry, you have 2.3 kids, if you're lucky you get the Mercedes and you're a success. Arts and culture, there was no tangible vision of success, right? You need something tangible. Faith has to be realized. Faith is not enough, you need a tangible model of success for people to invest in, and we didn't have that. So when we came out in 2003 and went to our local community in Fremont and said, you know, give us a couple $100 to do a stage reading of Domestic Crusaders, as you might remember, people laughed at me. In fact, overwhelming majority of people laughed at me. And one uncle will trace the story of this uncle and said, Beta, why don't you do something useful like protest? Right? This was 2003. And if you remember correctly, in 2003, the play Domestic Crusaders, which I always thought was not sensationalistic and never meant to be, people read it in our community and like, do you really want to say this, Wajahat? They were worried and they were scared. And they were saying, dude, you're Wajahat Ali. What the hell will they do against you with some of these lines in the play? And even in our own community, there was hostility and amusement. So we got a couple $100, and a funny story is my own blood, my uncles, when we did the stage reading at Naran restaurant, you remember, I had to lure our community with buffet.
With food.
Yeah, because they wouldn't come otherwise. So I said, I'll give you a stage reading, and I'll give you a 5-course Pakistani buffet meal with chai for $15.
$15.
Will you come? And my uncle said, if you make it 10, we'll think about it.
The food was always different. I sensed he respected me for at least making the attempt to keep the traditions, for at least trying. But today, after I slapped him, I expected him to fight back like Salahuddin did, or at least curse, yell, or scream, damn it, show fear like I did when my father beat me. But he didn't do any of that. He looked at me with pity. Pity. Like I was a wounded animal.
Just give him some time and try to talk to him. Try to talk to all of them. They all love you. They just don't know how to tell you anymore.
When those 2 towers fell, we fell with them.
They didn't give you the position, did they? I knew it.
How? Who? Did Abdullah's wife tell you? But it was his mother. Couldn't wait to rub it in, I'm sure, Kamine.
I've been married to you almost 30 years. I know your face. You were upset when you walked in the door this morning.
Upset? Too much to be upset about in this world. Disappointment? Yes. Who wouldn't be? A man works faithfully, competently. Not a single blemish on his entire record, night and day like a dog. As they say in America, give a dog a bone. Or throw one. At least once in a while, right? This brown, foreign, Muslim dog. Muslim camel. Not even a camel jockey. Hunter, the executive of my division, loves his camel jockey and Arab jokes. It's been 13 years, he still thinks I'm from India. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, what's the difference, he always says. My name was too hard for him to pronounce, so he asked me, or rather told me, I'm going to call you Sal from now on. You don't mind now? It's hard for Americans to pronounce these Arab names. You understand me, Sally? From that day on, I was Sally to him, Sal to Brian, the CFO, the Sal man from Pakistan, to all the interns and assistants. Teak, I said. Teak. At least they have some of the name right. Everyone takes a beating. Abu always said that. He told me right before I left for America, remember, beta, those streets in America aren't paved with gold. They're paved with blood. As a foreigner, you're going to take a beating. You'll always take a beating. But inshallah, when you make your gold, don't wipe your blood off the street. Keep it there to show all of them that you've earned it.
You fast forward in 2008, 2009, when we were doing the grassroots fundraising for the Eureka 5-week run in New York. That same uncle came up to me. It's fascinating. He said, I've been in this country for 4 decades, and I've done everything right. I paid my taxes, I've worked hard, I've made the American dream, I've raised my son, I've gone to college, and I made my son into engineers and doctors. He goes, I wish I would have made my son into a writer like you. I'm shocked. I said, why? He says, I turn on the TV, and they just see me as a terrorist or a taxi cab driver.
It was 16 August 1947. 2 days after official partition, India and Pakistan gained their independence from the British. In our village, we were all happy that at least the British, Beiman Kamine, would no longer use Desi land for their profit. But it never takes long for the devil to do his calm. As is the way of men, some calling themselves Sikh, others calling themselves Hindu, and others saying they were Muslim. They couldn't bear to live together. Each man claimed the land as his own. Some fought for religion, some for politics, others out of petty rivalry or mere jealousy. Sikh killed Muslim, Muslim killed Hindu, Hindu killed Muslim. I kill your brother, you kill my family.
You saw this?
I burn your store, you burn my house. At least my village was spared of this. And I just did dua that I could teach and live a good life, a peaceful life. But this dunya is not a dunya for peace, only torment and hardship. That day, a mob came to our village, a mob of Hindus with hate in their eyes. They were looking for my neighbor Amir, saying he was a thief and had looted one of their stores and his Muslim friends were defending him. Khair, I didn't know if he had stolen anything or not, and I would defend my friend, even a thief, especially from a Hindu mob. Matter of principle. You never let your friend fall. So I lied. I said I didn't know where he was. They went from house to house. Umair, another Muslim, was hiding him in front of my eyes, all our eyes. They told him to come out, said they only wanted to talk. As soon as he came out, they took a knife and thrust it in his chest. I couldn't move. I did nothing. Nobody did anything. I had never seen a man die before. And my friend Amir, he was stupid and used to chase after girls and shoot off his pagal mouth, but not deserving to die. Not deserving to die. And they killed him. And I did nothing. I was so afraid, I couldn't move. We were all witnesses and testified to the police. We waited 1 day, 2 days. They did nothing. We went again and they told us, mind your own business if you know what is good for you. A week later, Umair was found hanging from a tree. They cut his stomach and let his guts hang out. And I did nothing. And they kept on killing and killing, one more Muslim after another. And since the police chief was involved, of course, they would never do anything.
Did you do anything?
Bas, don't tell us any more of the story. We know it already.
I thought, what if this was me? Who would protect my wife? Corrupt cops, judges bought out by bribes, just as happy to see the Muslims killed as the ones who killed them. There were a few Muslims who took justice in their own hands. Men who made a pact to punish those who killed our people and got away with it. One slain Muslim brother would equal 10 grieving Hindu widows. So I joined these men. And I learned how easy it is for a man to lose his soul. The first life you take is the hardest, and the one you can never forget. After the first, the rest become routine. I hunted each and every one of them. I grabbed one as he slept next to his wife. His baby girl was there too. It did not matter to me. All I knew was he was the one who killed Amir with a knife. So I knifed him right in the chest as his wife watched, yelling for mercy. She was talking to deaf men.
I was thinking, when a murder or some awful event happens, we hope he's not black.
Yeah, it's a minority prayer.
Do Muslims feel what we're saying?
Yeah, we share the minority prayer. It's the minority prayer. Every time you see some sensationalistic news, you see a terror attack, Every Muslim prays, please don't let me be Muslim, please don't let me be Muslim, please don't. When they say it's a Muslim, then you go, please don't let me be a Pakistani. Please don't let me be a Pakistani. And all minorities, African Americans, Asian Americans, Mexicans, Muslims, they always pray the same prayer, let it be a white dude. Let it be a white dude, God, let it be a white dude. And the way I always describe it is when it's a white dude, usually, it's like Bugs Bunny. The animal never falls on Bugs Bunny's head. You know, Bugs Bunny, he gets scruffed up once in a while, he brushes it off, eats a carrot, walks away. When it's one of the minorities, one of the ethnics, it's like Daffy Duck. The anvil falls on all of our heads. So if Faisal Shehzad in 2009 tries to blow up a car in New York Times Square, he's a Pakistani and a Muslim, every Pakistani Muslim around the world is saying, F my life. Because you have to realize you're the fireman. You have to come out and you have to defend your Muslimness, your Pakistaniness, your Americanness. You have to defend your Americanness. You don't see a mass indictment of white America or white males. You don't see white men on television defending their whiteness, interrogating their whiteness, being forced to define and explain their whiteness. This is a luxury afforded only to certain minorities. And even the word terrorism, right? When it comes to Muslims or browns or ethnics, terrorist, that label applies. When you look at the labeling of, even Anders Breivik, they were slow to label him a terrorist, white radical, lone wolf, an aberration, right? And nowadays, again, I think things are shifting where people are having that conversation of what exactly is a terrorist and what is the profile of a terrorist, right? And I think now people are saying, you know what, yes, Anders Breivik was a terrorist.